Hello and welcome to another episode of Pepper's Pages. Today I decided to take it a little bit easier. I did have a bigger video planned to try and record, but after this weekend we are completely wiped, so I thought we'd do something a little more simple. On Saturday we had the opportunity to go to town for the first time in a while. What led me to want to do a little video today is we ended up getting a lot of cool stuff that I kind of wanted to talk about. If you've never been to the Pink Palace in Denton, Texas, I highly suggest that you go, especially if you're a huge book nerd or if you're into movies or records. This store used to be an old opera house that was eventually bought out and turned into partial apartments that are above the building, and then the lower half and a lot of the inside is now just a giant bookstore. Each section is devoted to a specific theme, like downstairs is a bunch of resources for researching and old history books. They have a crime section, they have a horror section, they have an entire room dedicated to romance and westerns. They also have a lot of classic literature as well upstairs, and there's so much in the store like it would take forever just to explain it all. But this week we finally got the chance to go back. While we were quarantining, I had the opportunity to go through a whole lot of my TBR shelf. So I've got through a whole lot of books and decided to restock. The first book that I picked up was Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice. It's been really hard to find a hardcover copy of this book. I'm not sure why, but I finally landed with this little guy. I've never seen the movie, I've never read the book, I've heard lots of good things about it, and to be honest with you, the things that I've heard about Anne Rice will probably leave me just reading this book unless I really like it. Second, we have The Fresco by Sherry S. Tepper. I know zero about this book or this author. Honestly, I was going through the science fiction section and spotted a book by her called The Visitor, which is about a woman who is called to save the world after it has already ended. Apparently that book takes place after an asteroid has hit the Earth and everything's destroyed, and has been for the last 100 years, and so she steps up to save the world. From what I understand, this is the same kind of concept, except it takes place right before the Earth is destroyed. So I don't know if it follows the same storyline or anything like that, but it looked pretty interesting to me, so I'm excited to get into that one. When I spotted this one, I couldn't help myself. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings about the movie. I personally have not watched it myself because I really don't want this story to be ruined. I was lent this book back in my sophomore year by a really good friend, and we talked about it, and it ended up being one of my more favorite stories when I was younger. I was really hoping to find a hardcover copy of this, but I mean, honestly, it's really not a big deal to me whether I have one or not. I was just excited to finally find a copy because it seems the only one you can find right now is Ready Player 2. I also got the 10th book in the series of unfortunate events. I was hoping to get 10 through 13, but the 11th book was missing as a hardcover, and I just want to keep it going. I do have the first 3 in paperback, but I would really like to try and collect them as a hard copy, so I'll probably sell those later. It feels really good to be rereading a story that I read when I was a lot younger. I have been watching the series on Netflix that started back in 2016, I believe, with Neil Patrick Harris. And as a kid who grew up with the Jim Carrey movie, it's been really hard to get used to having a new Count Olaf to look at and deal with. I really think that a lot of it is the writing and editing. It just feels too fast, but I won't go too much into that right now because I may talk about it another time. The last book that I picked up is Horns by Joe Hill. I was very happy that I did. I know a lot of people don't like that movie or have some harsh feelings towards it, but I enjoyed it for the most part, and I'm really excited to delve into the book version of it. We also went to the movie store, which is the movie trading company. There are several different stores placed around us, pretty far out. We have to drive a good ways to go to it, but any chance we can go, we will. Jake actually picked this one up at the bookstore. It's Lord of the Flies. I've never seen this one. I think he has. I've heard lots of things about it, but I am excited to watch it. He also got Rad, which I have not seen. Our friends and Jake have talked about it a lot, that they want to watch it together, so I guess I'll be seeing that soon. We picked up the second season of Dexter. We're trying to get through this before the new series comes out, and I noticed that on our DVD copies the second CD wasn't working, so I wanted to get a better version of that. Then we have the original X-Men trilogy. It's the first three because I haven't watched them forever and I absolutely adored them growing up, so I couldn't resist. This one I'm excited to talk about with Jake at some point because it was a great movie. We already watched this. But this is Psycho Gorman, and it is honestly, is such a great movie. This alien is buried very deep underground, and these two kids end up digging him up, and all sorts of chaos ensues. It's just not what I was expecting to happen. I don't really know what I was expecting, but I know that we had seen Red Letter Media talk about it, and that Rich Evans had voiced a character in this, and so it was really funny to hear him pop up. But overall, I'm very excited to get to talk about this one with Jake. Also, at the movie store, they have a whole bunch of Funko Pop Dolls, and sometimes I'll get one if I see one that's super cool. But I did find this little Danny DeVito penguin character from Batman Returns, and I was really excited about that because I don't think I've seen one of these before. Last things we got were this t-shirt, How to Summon the Candyman. I actually found that one at Spirit Halloween. We also got this t-shirt, which is from the Recycled Books and More. They actually have a deal where if you buy one of these t-shirts and wear it back in, you get a discount. And then we have this one, which Jake picked out. He really liked it, and I actually wore it before he could. But I think it's really neat. We love collecting t-shirts and stuff like that. Anyway, so that was our haul of things that we brought home from our trip this weekend. I'm very excited to read these books and get to talk about them. But for now, I hope you all have a great day and happy reading!